TV screens, calculators, digital agendas, and more. The 1980s packed tons of useful, and some not so useful, features into watches that defined an entire era long before smartwatches came along. Chances are you dreamed of having one or a few of these. Let's see how many you remember. Come with me. The legendary calculator watch. A true geek icon of the 80s, the CA53W blended nerdy style with a hint of sci-fi. But it wasn't until it showed up on Marty McFly's wrist in Back to the Future that it gained celebrity status. For many teens, this Casio was more than a gadget. It was a piece of tomorrow worn proudly on your arm. Fun and functional, at least until you pressed the wrong buttons trying to add 2 plus 2 in a hurry. The CA53W gave a sense of control and smarts, like having a mini command center at your fingertips. And the best part? It never really left. This model is still being sold today, identical to the original. A classic that never needed a comeback because it never disappeared. Fully transparent, lightweight, and unlike anything else at the time, the Jellyfish was the watch that put Swatch on the map for stylish 80s youth. With a clear case and visible mechanics, it looked like a modern art sculpture that also told time. No wonder it became a craze among those who wanted to stand out. After all, it did look like a jellyfish clinging to your wrist. Though produced in limited numbers, its impact was massive, inspiring multiple reissues over the years. Today, it remains a collector's item and a symbol of an era where fashion, design, and technology blended perfectly, even if you only used it to know when your favorite cartoon was about to start. Rugged look, athletic vibe. The Ironman was the go-to watch for anyone into sports, or anyone who wanted to look like they were. Launched in 1986, it came packed with features like a stopwatch, lap memory, and water resistance, making it a real workout buddy for runners, swimmers, and cyclists, or just the schoolyard show-off. Its success was massive, even becoming the best-selling watch in the US for several years. Over time, it evolved with new tech and designs, but the original model is still fondly remembered. A true staple from the time when sporty and techy first shook hands on your wrist. Like stories like this one? Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our nostalgia-packed videos. In the early 80s, wearing a TV on your wrist sounded like spy movie stuff. And it was. The Seiko TV watch made a splash in Octopussy, a James Bond film where it was featured as cutting-edge spy gear. With a tiny screen and an external receiver, it let you watch actual broadcasts right on your wrist, even if in black and white and super tiny. It was pricey and not exactly practical, but for tech-loving teens, it was the ultimate fantasy. A head-turner in every sense, it represented the kind of innovation that made you stop and stare. And even now, it stands as a bold example of just how wild the 1980s could get with their gadgets. Simple, reliable, and affordable. The F91W became a fan favorite by the end of the 80s for doing exactly what it promised. Show the time, wake you up, and light up with a slightly dim blue glow. It was everywhere, in classrooms, on parents' wrists, and probably yours too. Despite its modest appearance, the F91W earned a legendary status for being nearly indestructible. And more impressively, it never left production. It recently made a pop culture comeback in Stranger Things, proving that some designs don't need reboots. They just keep ticking. Minimalist in design, bold in attitude. With a big X across the dial, the X-Rated wasn't just stylish, it made a statement. Among the hardcore punk crowd, particularly within the straight-edge movement, this watch became an unofficial badge of clean living. No drugs, no booze, no excess. Wearing it meant you stood for something. The original became a cult item, and Swatch later reissued the model, keeping its clean design and strong presence intact. Decades later, it's still one of the brand's most iconic pieces, proving that sometimes the loudest message is the one you wear in silence. Recording voice memos on your wrist in 1983? That's exactly what the Seiko M516 voice note did. And no surprise, it made it to the big screen in Ghostbusters, worn by the ghost-fighting crew themselves. With record and playback buttons, it stored audio clips up to 8 seconds. Back then, that was as futuristic as talking into your smartwatch today. Besides being a tech marvel, the M516 earned collectible status thanks to its rarity and pop culture tie-in. Its chunky, button-filled design gave it a military gadget vibe. And for any teen obsessed with sci-fi or spy gear, this was the dream accessory. Way before smartphones, you could already carry your contacts on your wrist, and with a number pad. The DBC610 was one of Casio's most advanced Databank models, letting you store phone numbers, do math, and set reminders. Basically, it was a mini digital organizer disguised as a wristwatch. Its shiny metallic frame and tiny buttons stood out, even if it took serious patience to type anything. But the payoff? You felt like you were operating something important. A true classic for kids who loved tech and always had a few high scores or pizza place numbers ready to go. Bright, bold, and Swiss-made. The Formula One was TAG Heuer's way of bringing high-performance design to a younger audience. And it worked. Inspired by the world of racing, where TAG Heuer had long-standing roots, this model featured a sporty bezel, bold colors, and instant street cred. It quickly became the aspirational watch for teens who wanted more than a digital display. And over the years, it's seen several reissues, always honoring its fast-paced heritage. For many, it was their first taste of luxury, and the beginning of a lifelong fascination with what's on the wrist. The Pulsar Spoon wasn't your average timepiece. With a curved body and hidden digital screen, it looked more like something from a science fiction movie than a typical wristwatch. It hugged the wrist in a way that felt futuristic and definitely turned heads. Though it hit its peak in the early 90s, its roots trace back to the late 80s, when bold design was everywhere. The Spoon stood out for its style-first approach and has since been re-released in limited runs, each time reviving that same sense of bold originality. For kids who like to go against the grain, this watch was the perfect statement. If you remembered some of these 80s models, you'll love going even further back in time. Check out our other video, 9 retro 70s watches you or someone in your family definitely had. Trust me, it's a time capsule worth opening.